with you. I think I watched your video the other day.
Which one?
And uh I think you announced that you're getting top surgery.
Yes, that one. Cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Awesome.
man. Yeah, man. Congrats.
I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, bro. So like, what was how's your process been so far? Like,
In
just
terms
getting
of
ready for
like,
top surgery.
yeah, preparing for that.
Yeah.
Just trying to get all the supplies in order because it's November 29th. So the doctor gives you like a list essentially of stuff that you need. So I had to grab like gauze, surgical tape, polysporin, like an antibacterial for the scars, and then obviously like taking care of the scars. You have to get like scar gel and then silicone scar strips, and then like nipple coverings and stuff like that. So and that shit's expensive. So I've been honestly just trying to knock that out, and then obviously you have to get blood work and a COVID test and all that before the doctor's office as well, before the appointment. So honestly, just trying to get all that in order. It's like a lot. It's like a
Yeah.
lot going on. Yeah,
Man,
but
and you already have your scheduled date for top surgery?
yeah, November 29th.
Oh man, that's like right around the corner, dude.
It doesn't feel like it in my head though.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
like just a little bit over 30 days.
exactly. I mean, it doesn't feel real as well. Like, I guess because it's something that I've been pondering for so long that now that it's a real thing, it still like doesn't feel like a real thing because it hasn't happened yet. And then I've had also like homies of mine say, even I guess until you like take your shirt off outside, like it doesn't feel like a real thing. Because I have a couple of homies who just got top surgery, and they're like I understand that this has happened, but it hasn't sunk in yet. I guess if that makes sense. So I'm still there. Like it hasn't. I guess I could say it didn't sink in yet.
And man,
Yeah.
and I can't wait to see what your upcoming video is going to be like after top surgery.
hmm I'm gonna try to document as much as I can, like around the day, and then obviously try to record in the office for the reveal and everything. But I'm excited to finally be able to not pretend that this part of my body doesn't exist. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
man.
looking in the mirror and just like you pixelate it for your own brain. Like, yeah, this doesn't exist. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, man. So like um I think some past videos that I've watched with guys getting a top surgery, they have like I think like they have to go off of tea for a minute before top
hmm
surgery, and
Yeah.
then like after top surgery, like if they're uh used to like training, they have to take a few like months off from like training.
Yeah.
So like
So going off testosterone, the doctor said, and then I also researched it, and like most doctors still do this, and I've seen some doctors don't require it, but if someone's requiring it, it's probably like for a reason. So my doctor outlined 2 weeks prior and 2 weeks post to not take testosterone,
yeah,
and even more so for myself, like I'm gonna listen because it's for blood clotting. Like if you get blood clots, especially you're gonna be taking medication, you just had surgery, like it's for your safety of like not stroking out. And I've seen people say, well, cis guys don't have to, they can't shut down their natural testosterone production, and like a synthetic hormone, like we're injecting testosterone that was made in a lab, it doesn't react the same way as like a cis man's testosterone that his body's producing. Do you get what I'm saying?
yeah,
So it's important that I, as much as it's gonna fuck with my mental health, I'm gonna listen. And then as far as training, um, 6 to 8 weeks they said, but I'm gonna take that full 8 weeks, and then start training legs and stuff after that, and then just take it slow for my chest because what's the point of spending thousands of dollars just to like? Obviously, some people are fine with having stretch scars, but I ideally do not want that.
yeah.
So I'm gonna take that full 8 weeks before I train, and I don't know, do something besides being a meathead for a change.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah, man. Yeah, yeah, that was gonna be my question. Like I know being off of like testosterone for like even a week, you kind of know this the like the difference. Like so, like do you have any
Yeah.
like do you have a like game plan to kind of combat that just like mood swings or
Honestly, I've been like I don't think I'll be doing much. Like I'll probably just be around here most of the time and like working with my clients and stuff. I'm not a super social person, so within the context of like mood swings and stuff, I'm not really going to be in a situation to react to stuff. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
I'm going to be probably like I'm very isolated already. I just train my in-person clients, train in the gym, and then go out with my girlfriend, but I'm not super social, so I'm not really going to be in a setting where I'm going to be subject to mood swings, if that makes sense. That being said, like obviously I'll have less energy and that'll negatively affect me, but I mean, if you're like mentally prepared and you understand what's going to happen, all you can do is just ride the wave and just like deal with it as it comes. Like that's just my mantra for everything. Like whatever you're feeling, just ride that shit like a wave, and it'll die down eventually.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. So yeah, like has your girlfriend or your partner,
Hmm.
have they
Yeah.
have they been helping you like prepare?
Yeah. My girl has been super helpful. She went with me to the consult, which was great because I didn't want to let my emotions like run away with me. Like I wasn't set on that doctor, and I wanted to make sure that he was understanding what I was saying to him, which I'm sure you saw in the video. And I wanted her to be there and from an outsider's perspective, just sort of be like, is the doctor paying attention to what I'm saying? Is he offering me feedback? Like, is it positive energy? Do you get what I'm saying? Instead of like, just I'm so excited to get top surgery and I just go in here willy nilly and do whatever. So she's been super supportive in that aspect, and then she's like, obviously going to drive me to the appointment and everything. She's been really supportive. Like, she's happy that I'm finally getting to do this because it's been like holding me down like mentally for a long time now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man. Yeah, I'm glad that you have that type of like support system, especially with
Shit,
your
I am
your
too.
partner, and then also being
Yeah,
able to literally get something off of your chest that's gonna like,
that part.
yeah, man.
Yeah,
So like, yeah,
I'm
man.
looking forward to. Yeah,
Yeah,
what's
man.
up?
What else has he like have you been up to?
Honestly, dude, my life is incredible. If somebody saw my life, they'd be like, "This kid is like a monk, bro." Like, all I do is like work out, like work with my clients, and then train with my clients in person, film YouTube videos, chop those up, and then I mean, go out with my girl. Like Saturdays, we have dates, but besides that, I'm very like routine. Like I do the same shit over and over and over again. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So like with training, like do you mostly have like trans and like non-binary clients, or like do you have some cisgendered clients as well?
I'd say most of my clients are trans mask, and then I have three like AFAB clients who are just like for lack of a better term, like regular women, like not in terms of like trans women and regular women, but in terms of like they're not gay or anything, they're not a part of the community, like they're just cis straight women, and those people who are not a part of the community, like we work together just from word of mouth, like they know somebody who's trans and they got like a good recommendation, and then besides that, I have like some lesbians, but it's mostly trans mask folks. Yeah,
Okay, man. Yeah, that's
which makes sense.
yeah, I mean that's good that you're like inclusive. And
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah, man. What pointed me your direction when it came to like hiring a personal fitness trainer was like you you personally have the experience of being a trans man, and plus like your fitness journey proves that you know what you're doing.
yeah. I wouldn't have made it this far if I didn't take shit seriously. Like I don't really have great genetics, and I mean, I didn't really look like anything whatsoever before I started working out, and before even while I was working out, before I took everything seriously and really dialed in, I didn't look like shit. So now that I have to be like on the ball in order to see those results. So I feel like I can offer that for my clients instead of being like there's some personal trainers who just always look good and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna be a trainer now because people like how I look. And there's other person which is like nothing wrong with that. If they're getting results then fine. But for myself, like I was not getting results just by existing. Like I have to actively work my ass off in every sense and like be super disciplined. So I think that I can offer that insight to people instead of like being talented. I'm more so hardworking, if that makes sense. So I don't even know what the question was, but yeah,
Yeah, man. Yeah, like I didn't notice that there were different type of like fitness training styles. Like
Hmm.
From like working with you, you have more like well I guess like depending on the your fitness goals. Like for me, it was more like dumbbell and
Hmm.
like body weight exercises.
Exactly.
But with like at my school gym, we have a wellness credit, so you can take uh like fitness classes. Um,
Hmm.
but like more of their personal fitness trainers. They're training like um there's one class that does ecom or medcom, something like that. It's kind of like
Like CrossFit type of stuff,
yeah,
or what?
yeah, like
Yeah,
CrossFit
yeah.
type stuff. And then there's another guy. He does more like HIIT type workouts.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. I
sometimes,
mean,
yeah, go ahead, bro.
like my approach, it depends. I do have some people who are focused on like functionality, like they don't necessarily care if they're super jacked or ripped or anything. They just want to feel better in their bodies, be healthy, and be able to move better. So I have some clients like that, but I'd say most of my clients are more so like not bodybuilding in the sense that they want to compete, but bodybuilding in the sense of they want to build their body up. Either they want to gain muscle or they want to lose fat and gain muscle and all of that. So like that's where my niche is more so like bodybuilding style of training. But I do have some clients who are like functional, like instead of doing like okay, they're bench pressing and deadlifting, it might more so be like kettlebell work and like functionality and stretching and stuff like that.
Okay,
But yeah.
yeah, man. Yeah, like I noticed during the um the medcom class, it's more like CrossFit and like my like I know I noticed how much like I am like out of shape than I thought I was.
Yeah, it's cardio. It's cardio.
Yeah, man. But like
CrossFit is literally cardio.
yeah, man. Like I always appreciate like just the simple like dumbbell movements whenever I'm like taking that class because it's like afterwards I don't
Hmm.
feel like doing anything. Like I'm just worn out.
Yeah. There's a time and a place for like both styles. I'd say like CrossFit isn't super conducive for muscle building because it's not focused on hypertrophy. Like hypertrophy is the act of building muscle. CrossFit is more so like you might gain muscle just because there is some resistance, but it's like or and then HIIT is not geared towards muscle building at all. It's just all cardio. So it's like you'll lose weight, you'll get your calories burned and your energy up, but you're not going to build muscle, which is why like I steer clear of that. It's functional for life. Obviously, if the apocalypse ever comes, you want to be with the CrossFit guy and not the bodybuilder guy. But I want to look sexy, so that's why I train how I train. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's funny that you say that because like usually like some CrossFit like people who are like um how can I say they're professionals in CrossFit. They they have like bodybuilding looking like um
Hmm.
figures. So
Yeah.
yeah, but like I don't know if it's because they're more like repetitive with it or
It could be also like progressive overload. Like if you're using weight and then you just start using more weight over time. A lot of CrossFitters also do like Olympic lifting, which is um, like snatching, press, stuff like that. Like they use heavier weights. But if you're just going to like a CrossFit class, you're most of the time going to be using lightweight and then you're doing a bunch of rounds of different movements. The focus isn't really just to be as strong as possible. The focus is more so towards like getting your heart rate up and stuff like that. When you get to the professional level of like the CrossFit games, those people, first of all, they're on special sauce. I'll say that. And then on top of that, they're just using like heavier weight than the average person who's doing CrossFit. That's why they're built like they're not built like bodybuilders because they're not like super aesthetic, but they're built. They have more muscle than the average person. We could say that.
yeah, man. So like what was your like influence when it came to like bodybuilding?
My influence was honestly just to not be a skinny bitch. Like there's no way else to put it. It came from feeling like weak and like I couldn't protect myself or defend myself, and I was seen as like inferior. To wanting to be like, okay, I'm getting bigger. People are taking me more seriously. I feel less scared walking around. And it's funny because like now that I'm dieting, I'm not like I look smaller, but the average person wouldn't think like that's a small person. But in relativity to like, I was just bulky and I was 200 pounds, and then now I'm like 184, 185. To me, that's like a huge difference, and I feel smaller. Like I don't fill out shirts as much, but it's like I sort of feel almost back, like I'm at square one. Even though like your brain plays tricks on you, like oh my god, I'm cutting, so I'm skinny as hell.
Yeah,
But my original influence was just like be able to defend myself, like be bigger and look less like a twig.
yeah, man. Yeah, I think relating to you, like that was my influences to start gaining some muscle and putting on some weight. Cause like
Hmm.
when I first started training with you, I was like I think I was like 115, like 117, and now I'm like
Hmm.
130. So like,
That's
yeah,
good though,
man,
and I'm sure you feel like more confident in yourself as well.
yeah, man, like I got more like muscle than I used to have, and
Hmm.
like I can fit into my clothes properly. Like everything used to be like so baggy on me, but like now I can like put something on and not have to like put on a belt or some extra.
That's underrated,
Yeah,
bro.
man.
It just like it makes you feel more sure of
Hmm.
yourself, being a little bit bigger.
Yeah, man. So how long have you been on T?
It's going to be 3 years, November 26th, I believe, or like 23rd.
Man,
Yeah, one of those days. Yeah, but almost 3 years.
man, that's a long time. I've been.
I guess. Yeah, yeah.
What do you feel like 3 years is like I got.
I mean, it's just because I know so many older trans guys who've been on T for like 10 years or like 9 years that to me 3 years doesn't feel like changes still happen at 3 years. Do you get what I'm saying? Whereas obviously to someone who's been on T for 1 year, it's gonna seem like a lot. But I know that I haven't like peaked yet as far as my transition goes, so that's why I'm like, okay, 3 years is decent. Like it's getting there.
Yeah, yeah, man. Me and my dad was just talking about, like compared to like a year ago, I like barely had a mustache, I got like some trying to connect a beard and shit. But
Hmm.
yeah, we were just talking about like, like me and him look just alike. So like as I start like progressing like in my transition, like I wonder
Hmm.
if I'm gonna, look something close to him.
That's what happens, bro. Like my dad, even though we don't speak or anything, like I still have pictures of him. And the deeper I get into my transition, like I talk to my cousin, and he's like, "Yo, every day you look more like your dad and your brother." And I'm like, "Yeah, that makes sense." Like I do look a lot like my dad, and it's like with testosterone, like obviously the most masculinizing changes happen within like the first year or two, like your voice and um, like how you mentally feel and like body composition and stuff that happens within the first year and 2 years. But like facial hair and like male pattern baldness and stuff like that happens more so like honestly like body hair and facial hair happens like 3, 4, 5, 6. It just slowly starts getting like filling in more. So
Yeah, yeah,
it's like I know there's this concept of like, oh, if something hasn't happened after a year, it's not going to happen. But testosterone like takes a while to really make to catch you up to where you would have been if you were cis, if that makes
yeah,
sense.
man. Yeah, and it depends on the person as well, because everybody has different
Hmm.
experiences. Like right now I've been on testosterone for almost 2 years now, but um I started back in like 2019, and then I took like almost like 8 months off of tea. But when I got back on tea, I noticed like there were a lot more changes compared to when I first started. But that could also
Hmm.
be like um me changing up my shot days when I first started. But
I think that also because you're really young, I think that can also have a lot to do with your age. Like I found that in people who start testosterone when they're older, their changes happen a lot more rapidly. Whereas if somebody starts testosterone when they were going to go through like natural puberty anyways, the changes may seem less striking. Does
yeah,
that make sense? Like if you start it in your adolescence, like still in your teens, it's going to seem like not a lot is changing. But if like a 30-year-old person starts testosterone, it's gonna look like they got hit by like a testosterone truck. You get what I'm
yeah,
saying?
man.
So yeah.
So like when you first started like noticing your changes when it came to like taking uh you're taking testosterone. Like
Mhm.
for me, like the first change that I noticed was my facial hair and my face like kind of slimming down. Like what was something that you first noticed?
Um, what was something that I first noticed? I mean, it wasn't facial hair because I didn't start growing facial hair until like really funny, like maybe like 9 months ago. Like I really just started growing facial hair, and then what did I? Maybe my voice, but my voice didn't start dropping until like 8 months. Like it was really a slow build for me. I didn't have too many super noticeable changes. Like I guess my face got oily and my body fat did shift a little bit. Like I was mad skinny when I first started testosterone. Like I was a literal twig. So I don't know, bro. I don't. It really was. Everything was super slow. I didn't notice a whole lot at the beginning, just because I was on a low dosage, and I don't react well to testosterone. Meaning, like, it takes more testosterone in order for my system to respond to it. Um, so it took my endocrinologist and I a little bit of time to figure that out. So I was like really moving at a slow speed when it came to my transition. But then I'd say honestly, probably my voice. I don't know, bro. I'd be lying if I said that I had some real big changes that I noticed. It just happened over time.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, like like I was having a conversation with my dad uh when he first came back home from prison, and he was like, "Man, in
Mhm.
person, like your voice sounds like a lot deeper." And I was like, "Really? Like I don't think my voice has like changed at all." Like,
Do you know what's so funny about that? It's that like I hear my voice coming out of my mouth in my head, and it still sounds like a bitch ass voice. And then when I hear myself like on video or like in recordings and stuff, I'm like, oh, like my voice is deeper than my brain is allowing me to think. So I feel like there's probably a disconnect there of obviously being a girl for like 20 years, even though obviously mentally like I wasn't there, but physically having that voice for 20 years, and then 3 years, all of a sudden my voice is different. Like my brain hasn't caught up to where my physical voice is at. It's like really funny. Like I will hear one voice and then it sounds different when I hear it back on recordings. So I see
yeah,
what you're
man.
saying there.
Yeah, I should have kept some like voice diaries or something just to see.
Ah, you didn't do the this is my voice 1 month on. So you didn't
Yeah,
do that?
I think I did it like 1 month, but then after that, I was like, okay, like I felt like listening back to it, it made me want to it made me want to rush the process.
Ah, that makes sense. I can see that. And then you might get deterred, like, oh, my voice didn't change much, but I did it like dude, I did it like every month for probably 8 months. And then for the first like 4 months, I was like, I'm gonna take a picture every single day. So I took a picture every day, and I was gonna do this whole big YouTube video of uh, like for example, 1 year on T picture every day and do this whole big transition thing. But then like I just stopped doing it, and also I ran out of phone space as well, so that could be a reason. But yeah, I mean, my voice changed a decent amount, I'd say. Ideally, right?
Yeah, man, it's crazy how quick or like how like different changes can be happening, and like you really don't notice until like somebody points it out, or until like one day you're like staring
That's
at
true.
yourself in the mirror and you're like, oh, there's an extra like hair that grew in.
That's true. That's like I just saw some of my girlfriend's family like 2 weekends ago, and they haven't seen me in like a literal year. And obviously, like I don't feel like much has changed in a year, even though pictures will say otherwise. But they saw me for the first time in like a year. And they're like, "Holy crap, dude! Like, did you eat yourself? You look crazy." And I'm just like, "Did I change that much?" And they just kept giving me compliments, and I'm like, "Are y'all for real right now? Like for real?" So you're right. Like until somebody points it out, you may not notice it.
Yeah,
It's
man.
true.
Yeah, my twin sister is coming to like visit me, and like we haven't seen each other
Mhm.
in like probably like 3 months, but yeah, like every time I have FaceTime her like on the phone, she's like, "Oh my God, like you have hair under your chin."
That
Yeah,
must be trippy. It's always interesting to see how people around you react. Like I don't have honestly much family. Like I don't have much people who've seen me pre transition and post transition. And am I frozen? No. Okay. My girlfriend has lived with me literally the entire time, so she's pretty used to seeing me. But like I went a good while without my cousin seeing me or hearing me, and then he found my Instagram randomly, and he was like, "Yo, what the fuck? Like, you look crazy, dude." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks, bro." Like, I guess in a positive sense, like, I guess a lot of shit has changed. But like you said, like looking at yourself every day, you don't really realize how much has
Yeah,
changed.
yeah. So like when it comes to like testosterone, like I think I want to hear some of your like the facts that you know, uh, like scientific facts that you know, like
Hmm.
one of my classes that I'm taking in like UX design, they're uh they're working on a project. The professor has been working on a project with another professor about the studies of gendering foods. So like
Hmm.
some foods are
Perceived as like
yeah.
female food and male food, like steak
Hmm.
is for men
Yeah,
type of
like
shit,
steak,
or
like
what?
meats are for men, and like fruits are for like women type thing. But like, what it like,
Okay.
like, what is your like science behind like how food can impact like hormones?
Obviously, eating a clean like whole food diet is gonna, I get messages from people a lot and they're like, "Oh, this is my testosterone levels, like how can I boost this? Should I take this test booster from GNC, blah blah blah?" And I'm like, honestly, the best thing you can do for yourself is like eat vegetables, fruit, like just honestly whole foods, like fresh foods, instead of like if you were to eat Checkers and McDonald's every day, you're not doing yourself any favors in terms of like optimizing your hormones. So um, honestly, just trying to be like as clean and as healthy as possible. Obviously, no one's gonna eat like a rabbit 24/7, and you're gonna have like fun foods. You're gonna eat pizza every once in a while, but if your main diet consists of bullshit, like you're not doing the hormone any favors. Especially like it's most of the time in a physique context. Like people want to know how they can optimize their testosterone so that they can look better. So it's like proper food, proper meals, and testosterone go hand in hand if you want to just give yourself the best chance possible. So honestly, just like eating as clean as possible. Um, like you want to have like leafy greens, all different color type of vegetables like carrots, zucchini, red pepper, stuff like that, and then a nice amount of protein. Obviously not overboard, but enough to grow or enough to sustain muscle mass, and that's pretty much it. And I don't think that's just for testosterone. I think that's like for human function. Period. Like women should also be eating healthy. Like that's just what it is. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
hopefully that makes
like
sense.
yeah, like I think I was researching. I got into that rabbit hole of like researching, what can I do to boost testosterone, and I know like um,
Hmm.
when I got into like the food category, there was one video that I watched about like broccoli. Like you can eat broccoli to lower your estrogen. I think that's what they said, but I don't know. Science has to prove it,
That's like the same people that say that soy gives you titties. Like,
right?
no, it's fine. Like, yeah, like it's the amount of just food items that you'd have to consume to see any blood work representative of that they're saying. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, how much possible broccoli would you have to consume on a daily basis to affect your hormones? It's like no human being would do that.
Yeah,
Does that make sense? Like, a lot of times people just want to have like a different opinion so they can get a click. Like, they're saying something different, they're offering new information, and then people are going to click on that because they've never seen it before. Like, that's,
yeah.
I mean, bro.
You're like just eat.
Yeah, like, and it's the fact of the matter is that if you're injecting yourself with testosterone, that's going to be the best thing you can do for yourself instead of like trying to focus on shit that doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
Does that make sense? Like a lot of people will be like, "Oh, well, I want to buy." Like I have a lot of clients who go to GNC or the vitamin shop and they buy testosterone boosters, and that doesn't do shit for cis guys, let alone us. Like we don't even have barely any free testosterone to boost. The testosterone we get is synthetic. Like it's not. it's not produced by our body. So if your testosterone is within a healthy natural range compared to a cis man, like from I'd say optimally from 500 to 800 nanograms per deciliter, like that's fine. You don't have to try to optimize it or boost it in any way. It's gonna do its thing. It just
Yeah.
takes time.
Yeah, I've always been scared to take things like testosterone boosters because, like,
I
yeah,
mean, it wouldn't do anything.
like like I had an
Yeah,
appointment
like
with my endo doctor, and I was asking her if I could increase my dose, and she was like, "Well, we'll do some blood work and see like if your levels are above um I think it was like 900 or 1,000, then like you really don't
mhm,
have any like wiggle room. But if it's lower than if it's 800
exactly.
weight or lower, then you're good." And when I got my work back, I was like closer to 900, so I was like, like I like thank you for doing blood work for me, but I think I'm good right here because I don't want to mess my
Yeah.
hormones up. But
Honestly, bro, when it gets to a certain point, more doesn't necessarily mean more. Like a lot of people think if they just take more testosterone, they're going to grow this insane amount of muscle. But if you look at other aspects of their life, like are they getting at least 6 hours of sleep? Sometimes, most of the time, people get like 5, 4 hours of sleep. Are they eating enough food to grow? Most of the time, the answer is no. Are they training 5 times a week with a real training program? Most of the time, the answer is no. And it's like a lot of people will look at ignore all those other parts that I just mentioned and then go straight to testosterone and be like, I want to have 1200 testosterone level. And it's like, oh, well, you think that this is the magic key when in reality you're ignoring all the other things that would help you at your current
yeah,
level. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, nah, like it gets to a point where it's not going to help you any, like, it's not going to do anything for you that it hasn't already been doing. Like if you're at 700 compared to 800, like I don't think that's going to make a giant difference. Obviously, if you're at 700 from like 300, that's going to make a huge impact on like your energy level, your libido, and stuff like that. But I mean, a lot of people will try to run cycles on their testosterone and they're like, I'm not where I thought I would be. I thought I was going to look insane because I'm taking so much testosterone. And I'm like, you're trying to cheat the system. It doesn't work like
yeah,
that.
and plus, like, like if you end up doing something wrong with the way that you're taking the your testosterone, you're prone to like your doctor being like, all right, we have to take you off because your blood
Oh,
pressure is too high
100%.
or
Yeah.
something like that. But
Or not even just that, bro. Like I've had people come to me and they've taken too much testosterone, and their doctor will simply just not prescribe them any more testosterone until their levels are back to normal. So it's like now you got greedy and you have to pay the ultimate price, which is going cold turkey for a little bit. Like it's not worth. Like my dad used to say, when you try to take a shortcut, you get cut short. Like just do things the proper way. Like there is no shortcut. Like just do what the fuck you're supposed to do,
I
like a
mean,
normal person. It's like the impatience is not
yeah,
worth
like
it.
going off of T sucks. Like it was my choice
Oh yeah.
when I took a break. But yeah, like definitely the the like highs and lows that you experience, but also like I didn't know that like
Hmm.
trans men could experience uh erectile dysfunction. Like that was crazy. Yeah, like
That
that
makes
was that
sense,
was
bro.
that was crazy. And then also like you can tell like your like energy is off coming going from
Yes, that's like a while back. Like I had this huge scare with my hair, and now I'm kind of just fine with it. Like my hair is thinner than it used to be. It doesn't curl up like it used to, just because of testosterone. So I was like freaking out. So I crashed my testosterone levels essentially for like 2 weeks, and I was feeling it. Like I was feeling terrible. Like it was, and it was coupled with me dieting, which made it worse. But dude, I had like no type of energy to go anywhere. Like I was acting like a little bitch towards my girlfriend, like being hella sensitive, and I really did feel it. And that's because like obviously it's not like you're gonna detransition just by going off of testosterone if you've already had these irreversible changes, but just it's like you're a different person. Like it really is. It's just like you're an entirely different person. And the same thing is true for cis guys. Like a lot of cis guys don't even know. Am I
yeah, but
frozen again?
I can still hear you. Well, yeah, yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. like a lot of cis guys just have like chronically low testosterone, and their personality is probably like very shitty. Like they probably don't have a lot of energy. They're probably acting like little bitches and stuff. And then they get on like hormone replacement therapy, and they have a lot of energy. They're just like a different person. Like hormones and optimizing them within the proper route is super. It's life changing, to be
Yeah.
honest. Not just for trans guys, but for everybody. Even women, like women who start HRT for estrogen, they might have like a new lease on life as well. It's just
Okay.
humans, period.
Amen. So like, what would your advice be for those who are like they've been, trying to figure out like they've just started testosterone or they're not on T yet, and they're not really feeling too good like about their self. Like, what would you tell them to start at?
Meaning, like in a
Yeah, like
dysphoria sense, or
yeah, like dysphoria or like
hmm, I'd say honestly, I can only say like what I did and what helped me out. And a big thing for me was like getting my hair cut often. Like when I was pre-T, I used to get my hair cut once a week, like clockwork. Like there was barely nothing to cut, and I was like, "Yo, dog, like we're gonna get another haircut." That helped me out a lot. It helped me feel more masculine, and it made me feel like cleaner and just better about myself. And then also like getting nice cologne. Like I don't wear cologne too much anymore. I just smell like laundry. But before I was on testosterone, like I was like, ooh, like this is Calvin Klein, like ooh, this is Nautica, this is Gucci, Gucci Guilty, like all these different colognes, because I was like, I smell like a man. I have this nice haircut. Hopefully, people will get the message. And then obviously, working out was huge, and it really helped my self esteem, like just getting stronger. Not comparing myself to other people, not comparing myself to cis men, just knowing that I myself was getting stronger helped me out a lot. And those are like, and also I was obsessed with Ethica boxers, like, which helped because I haven't bought boxers in like 4 years, but I was buying new Ethicas like every week, dude. That made me feel better about myself as well. As funny as it
Amen.
sounds.
Yeah, it's the small things that count. Yeah, I definitely like relate when it comes to like the like getting haircuts frequently, or like even just like like getting new clothes that were like masculine. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I think my advice for those who are like wanting to, if they're just now starting their like transitioning and like coming out socially, is to like
Hmm.
just, yeah, I would say like getting a haircut. If you're like able to, like if you feel safe doing that, or like just start you know um having people like refer to you using your name and your pronouns.
Yeah, surrounding
Yeah.
yourself with people who are going to support you.
Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah.
That's a big
I
one.
think, and like it's all like you're always gonna have like those people that if it seems like for some reason they just can't like adjust, and there's going to be times where people are going to like misgender you or like dead name you, but just remember,
Hmm.
like yourself. So like once you know yourself, then like nobody else can like tell you that you're something else. So yeah.
Hmm. I agree with that,
Yeah.
100%.
So like when it came, like when you first um came out, like were you like did you have like supportive friends around you?
Yeah. I mean, I knew two people from high school who transitioned before me, and I was able to sort of ask them about stuff, get support from them. And then my girlfriend was always just sort of like, I thought you were a guy when we met, so I don't have any issue with this. Like, I was just super masculine looking. And then, like I said, I've never been super social, but the people, even like now, like a lot of my old classmates follow me on Instagram and stuff, and they're like, yo, you looking great, stuff like that. So I think it's like a blessing maybe of where I live. Like I live in a little bit above Miami, like 30 minutes above Miami, but it's a pretty like it's a nice area, I guess you'd say, and people are very like open and not judgmental within any sense. So yeah, I had a lot of not like crazy support, but I never felt like anybody was looking down on me or judging me
Okay, man.
in any way.
Was it the same with like with family?
Oh,
Yeah.
the opposite. Yeah, like yeah. I mean, my dad just I don't, bro. Just not with the. Let's just say this, like not with the program, and then he kicked me out when I was 20, which honestly was kind of nice of him. He let me stay till I was 20. Hey, you don't have to do that, so I appreciate it. At least he let me stay for that long. Um, and then don't really have a relationship with my mom, and I mean, yeah, I mean, I have a distant aunt and a cousin who are like supportive from afar. Like we have calls every now and again, and they check up on me. But as far as family, like not really super a part of my
Yeah.
everyday life, to be
Yeah, I know
honest.
that's hard, you know. Like like my dad,
Hmm.
he's supportive. But like at first I didn't think that he was going to be, cuz like in the past he's had some like homophobic like remarks towards people.
Hmm.
So like yeah, it was hard, like I was nervous coming out to him. But like as far as parents, yeah, like he's my only like support system, cuz like yeah, like I also don't have like my mom. Uh but
Hmm.
yeah, man. It's
I feel
I
that.
think um like even if you don't have a parent or a parent who's supportive of your like the choices that you make in life, or like who you are. I feel like the people outside of family is what like makes it count the most, because it's like like
Hmm.
these people like
Yeah, I just.
they don't even know me, or like they didn't grow up with me, but yet like they still love like the person that I am. So yeah,
Mhm. I mean, any positivity is always
yeah,
great. Why do I keep freezing? Yeah, I know you heard me, but anything that someone can say that's uplifting, like it's obviously going to positively affect you. I mean, I'd say a lot of times what matters the most is like family support. I'll be honest, just because it can make such a huge difference in like if your mom or like obviously not us, like that's a done deal. But if someone's mom like is giving them like encouraging words, or their dad is giving them encouraging words, or their siblings are being nice to them, like that's going to make a huge difference and positively affect them in life, versus like if you don't really have a relationship with your parents, or they kick you out, or they act negatively towards you, like that's going to have a huge impact. So obviously like having outside people and friends and stuff who are going to support you is dope. But I mean, if we're being on this is super negative. Like, there's honestly no reason for me to say this, but I'm just keeping it real. Like, it's not the same thing. Like, and I know that within this community, like, it's almost like you take what you can get, and it's like, fuck it, fine. If I have to have a chosen family, that's cool. But I say this to say, like, if anybody's a parent and stuff like that, and they're like, oh, my kid's going through a phase, or I'm not sure if this is really them, like, let them feel it out, dude. Like, just let them vibe. Don't push down on them. And I hear a lot of people's parents say, like, I'm just treating you like how the world's going to treat you. Like, the world's going to be mean towards you. And it's like,
yeah,
why would you want to add to someone's pain? Like, if the world's going to be mean to them, that means that you should build them up, not break them down more. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I feel
yeah,
like that
for
was
sure,
important
man.
to mention.
Yeah, I asked my dad, if like I told him like not every person who is trans a uh has parents who are like supportive. So like what would your advice be to
Hmm.
the parents? And he was like, basically like if you if your choice is not to be supportive, then like you should like do a double take, because like at the end of the day, like that is your child, and you don't want them to be like out in the world and feel like like they don't have anybody to support them, like that's gonna fall on you, at the end of the
Hmm.
day, if you whether if you're thinking about it or not. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I think even like what the word support means, it's like, I don't think that, I think we had this conversation as well. Like, I like my aunt and my cousins sometimes, like a lot of the time they still refer to me like by my old pronouns and my old name and stuff, and but they still support my transition, which is ironic. But I can I can meet them where they're at, and I can be okay with that. And I think that sometimes parents or loved ones may think you're asking too much of me. And I think that we'd just be happy with making an effort. Obviously, some people are not happy with just making an effort. And they're like, you have to. Everybody has different boundaries, but I feel like overall, people want to have a family. People want to feel supported. So even if it's still like iffy on the name and not getting 100% correct, as long as you're acknowledging that I'm making this change in my life and you're not
Hmm.
actively trying to stop me, I think that can be enough. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
that's
definitely,
my take on that.
relate. Like my my twin sister, like out of like all of my family, she's the only one that calls me, by like my name and like uses my pronouns. Like other people, I don't think they're
Hmm.
just like I had an aunt tell me, like I just can't call you um he, and I was like, well, like you like
Yeah, but I feel that's like it's like, can you make the effort? Like I see both sides. I see that, dude. It's like my aunt still some. Well, she does both. She calls me Devin and she calls me my old name as well. But it's like, at least make an effort. Don't just tell me
yeah,
straight up to my face that you're not even gonna try. Like, then I don't really want to be around you and I don't want you to be around me. Like, that's just personally, like, if you're telling me straight up to my face you're not even going to make an effort, then, like, at least respect me as a human being, that makes me uncomfortable. And, like, I don't want to be around people who are going to make me uncomfortable. Like, do you get what I'm saying?
yeah, and
But
like family
everybody
family
is
is so
different.
important. So like yeah, like you don't want to cut them off because that's your blood, but you know like
Hmm.
like at the end of the day, like just acknowledge that I'm
You
completely
can't,
different.
yeah.
Like the image that I have of myself is the image that I would want others to have, but it's it's not always that way.
Yeah, that's crazy. And it's crazy because they're holding on to something that's not there anymore. Like, you look funny. Like, you look funny calling a whole man the wrong gender. Like, people would look at them like they're crazy. Like, are you dumb? This is
Yeah,
obviously a dude. Like, what's wrong with him? So, I mean, it's something that. Why do I keep freezing? Is it my? I think
I
it's my
mean you're
Wi-Fi or something. That's crazy. But there I go. Okay, it's something that they have to like deal with themselves.
yeah,
As corny as that is to
yeah,
say,
for
but it's
sure.
true.
Yeah, but um like when it comes to family, like do you have anybody else in your family who's trans? Like,
Not that I
yeah, I
know of. No,
yeah,
not that
man,
I know
I
of.
recently had my my older cousin came out as trans. So yeah, man, that was good.
Nice. There's that
Yeah,
extra level
yeah,
of
for sure.
kinship there for sure. Then yeah, no, I think just my older uncle, who's probably like almost 60 by now, is gay. And then growing up, it was always like, oh, this is your uncle's roommate. And I'm like, why does he have a new roommate like every year? This is so weird. Why can't he just hold on to a roommate? And it's like, oh, well, those were his boyfriends. Like, okay, that makes more sense now. And that's probably the most like exposure to anything that but I was never even exposed to that because they never outwardly told me like your uncle is gay or this is your uncle's boyfriend. It was just like this is his roommate. Even until I was like 15, like they were still doing the same shit. So I'm like, okay, dude.
Yeah,
It's like don't ask, don't tell type of
which I
policy.
don't know why. Like I had well, I have family members and I have like older sisters who are lesbian, things like that. But like I don't know why family choose to like not express. Yeah, but
Acknowledge it.
yeah, man, it's crazy. Like I think
I don't know
it's
where it's
mostly like
fear. I think,
have to do with their like religious beliefs, you know. But
but then even then, it's like I have this funny thing. Not to get too deep and personal, but my dad used to tell me all the time, like I'm not going to hell for you, and it's like, have you had sex out of wedlock? uh, what is like, do you
uh,
smoke, do you drink alcohol, like what is, you're committing sins every
it's
day, like do you curse, you're committing a sin, like do you have a tattoo of Buddha, like yes you do, like you're going to hell, bro, like
yeah,
it has nothing to do with me, like. And I think religion is oftentimes just a barrier to ignorance. Like a lot of people will use religion as an excuse to not try to understand and to stay ignorant, when it's like, dog, if you look at your life, this whole trans gay thing is probably the last on your list of shit,
yeah,
that of sins you're
yeah, man.
committing.
And I think like when they bring like religion or like spirituality into it, it just makes uh the person feel like, like not only do uh not only do your family not love you, but the person who created this earth, doesn't love you either. But
Hmm.
I think that's completely false. And not to go into like religion or like
Yeah.
conspiracy or anything like
Well,
that.
I
But
mean, yeah, I'm not super religious, but my take has always been if you want to go the Christian route, like if you believe that God is good and God makes no mistakes, then why would God make me as a mistake? And then they go like, "Oh, well then God made you perfect as you are." And I'm like, "Yeah, well I am trans." So then what is it? You get what I'm saying? Like it's almost like people get fucking lip fillers and they get Botox and then like you get weaves and then like men get lace front beards now and even they get lace front hair. Like those are all modifications to your body. And if God made you perfect as you are, then what's good with the BBL? Like it's not
yeah,
it's not adding up for me. So
yeah.
it's all
I think
people pick and choose. You
if
know what
they
I
were
mean?
to read the Bible or interpret it right, then they would know that their take on it is completely wrong. But
Yeah. I mean, I think at the end of the day, the one thing that I can grab from, and my girlfriend's family, is like somewhat Christian, and they have a gay son, and they're open towards me, and they properly gender me and everything. And I think it's just like people pick what they want to acknowledge and what they want to be ignorant towards. It's not like oh we have to get into deciphering the Bible. Like no, like you know what you're doing, and you know you're using
yeah,
that as a corny excuse. So that's just my opinion on that. Like I have nothing. I'm not super religious. I do believe in something, but I'm good off that. I hate the Bible excuse. It's weak to be honest. It's
yeah,
low
man. It's
hanging
like you
fruit.
have to they have to pick and choose.
Bro,
I
shout
I
yourself
don't
out
have
as
any
well since I'll
social
be uploading
medias,
this.
but I hear the podcast. Black Trans
At least
Men
the
Talk.
podcast.
It's going to be on Apple Podcasts and YouTube. So yeah, you can find me there. Yeah, man. My name is Lee Wade.
Dope.
Oh, yeah.